Well, hello, lovelies. I am here today to give you a video in regards to a message that the angels want me to share, really, in a one-on-one basis, so that you can see me and I can just be spontaneous in regards to getting the insight coming down. So I don't really know what I'm going to say just yet, but there is a theme. So they've given me a theme, which is awesome because that's where I start in anything that helps me and my own personal insights. They tend to just kind of drop in a few words for me to contemplate on and for me to come to some kind of revelation in order to overcome whatever it is that maybe I'm going through, which then can relate to other people as well, because it's just, we are very, very similar in all our ways of being and our ways we work ourselves out in the world, in our behaviours and our reactions and everything. So earlier this week, I did post a card in regards to lean on God and the angels for support in regards to handing over our burdens to these beautiful divine beings that can help us within any aspect of our life. And this has really been pivotal for me in my journey of doing what I do and having to be quite self-reliant and managing my mind states and managing my moods and managing my health and managing my everyday life in order to do everything, that I want to do, that actually then goes out into the world to serve others, be it on a one-on-one basis or, posting stuff that can reach more people. So lean on angels and God for support is really a call for us to know that we are not alone in regards to anything that we're going through. And I want to focus today in regards to that on personally on our emotional sensitivity that's very, very evident in many of us, being light workers, being earth angels, being empaths, that are very, very, very sensitive to life and the outside world and the surroundings and how other people react towards us as well. And we can kind of be great 1 minute and then the next minute, just because maybe something happened, we kind of fall apart, and that's in the extreme. Some of us don't, obviously some of us can work through that, but sometimes there are certain situations in life that actually do knock us off our feet, and we become quite incapacitated in our daily life and maybe what we need to do in that day, and the day doesn't go as well and as flowing as we would have liked, and I'm just like you guys and I have that guys and girls I have that experience myself, where I have all these lovely plans in my mind what I'm going to do, and then something happens and I kind of get sideswiped and I have to then go and deal with those feelings first that often are quite the opposite in regards to motivating me to do what I need to do. Like I fall back and I go, oh no, I can't do that now, I'm just not in the mood for it, and that's it, I'm not in the mood for it. But our sensitivity is really our gift. Now other people are going to come into our life, and other situations are going to come in from the outside world that will bring all sorts of reactions and responses up in us that can affect our day, or it can in a good way, but also can affect our day in more of a negative way, or a way that just kind of feels like we're just walking through sludge. Could be one word that someone says to us and that can change our whole day. Now what I want you to understand about this, and this is coming from guidance from Archangel Michael for me to share some of the things that I work with people that's going to really help. And when people come to me for sessions regarding readings, or even kind of, you know, a bit of a mix, because my reading has often become mentoring and coaching as well, because the angels bring in guidance, and then I kind of have these kind of energies and tools and it's solutions to people's problems that is proven to work, because I work with them and I work with them with other people. So going back to the sensitivity of who we are, firstly, I just want to make sure that you all honour that within yourself, and that is a beautiful gift that is really part of your complete divine essence of who you are. You are meant to feel, you are meant to experience all aspects of life. You are here for 100% everything that happens, to be the witness to that in your life, and to be able to respond to that in a way that is helping you grow and evolve and helping you to feel empowered. Now, so very often our mindset, which is almost like another operating system that is separate from the soul, will have social conditioning, parental conditioning, schooling conditioning that may bring up thoughts that are almost hindering that moving forward. You know, the thoughts such as, this is all too hard, that person is so cruel to me, they've really hurt me, and now I'm in this state where I can't function. And, you know, those are those kind of thoughts that we have in our mind that come up instantly without our conscious awareness. They're just automatically there, they're programmed. And what I've learned is that, and it's been a challenge, you know, at times, because, you know, I'm not absolutely perfect and I haven't got everything down to a T, but I have learned in such a way that I can recover a lot quicker and not let those situations hinder me for longer than necessary. So, you know, even if I might have a day where I'm just processing what's happened, to come to some kind of resolution in my mind of how I should be thinking about that situation, and seeing a blessing in it in some way that's going to really motivate me to move forward. And then I could step in to the following day and start to take action on that, maybe just one step at a time, one moment at a time, just to lift me up and say, no, I'm not going to let that beat me. So our thoughts will come in and they're automatic. And this is something that is not your fault deep within. This is nothing that you have done that has been a conscious choice. What has happened to you is that through the years of influence from parental, other people in your life, you know, schooling and all sorts of things, work interactions, work things, all sorts of things that you may have read, you know, in the news and things like that, that have kind of conditioned you to be a certain way, to try and think a certain way. So it's almost like restricting you. Now, the bigger picture of this is really about connecting to the energy of the ego and understanding what that's about. It's almost like a separate entity within ourselves that is separate from the soul, but in its essence is actually part of the soul. And that's probably another video I can really share with you so you can get a greater understanding of that. But for now, just contemplate on that for yourself, you know, whatever that may bring up in you. We are completely whole in ourselves, in the mind, body and soul, and that includes the ego essence. But the ego essence is really like a very, very, very immature child that throws tantrums, and it's conditioned to do that. And that conditioning, again, has come from, you know, past stuff, past beyond our life that we know it, from previous past lives, from generations. It's all been passed on through the social conditioning of the human mind and the development of the egocentric energy. And it's part of the big plan. So there is nothing wrong with that. But what it is, it's really coming to a point now where many of us are awakening to a way of being in ourselves that is actually beyond that programming and conditioning. And for some, it's a touch and go process. Some days it's easier than others. Some moments it's easier than others. But the first step of this is just to be aware of that within yourself. And this is what I'm just going to share. That, you know, your emotional sensitivity to your reactions around the world are often also stemmed from the egocentric way of making you think in a certain way. So you will have a feeling, but then the mind kicks in like, oh, she is on that low mode, something's happened, so I'm going to bring in loads and loads of thoughts. They're going to make her feel worse than what the actual situation is. If you can allow yourself to step back and look at it in kind of a detached way, just almost as if you're watching it in your mind, you know, the memory in your mind as a movie, seeing yourself in the movie, what going through that situation, and then asking yourself, how could I have handled that better that caused less suffering to me in the whole situation? Because often, you know, it's all linked, and you will often see that what the argument or what the situation is about is really nothing to do with the outside situation. It's all to do with the reactive situation in ourselves and how we think about it. So there's been a beautiful quote that my husband raised to me this morning because he was trying to help somebody else step out of a very sabotaging way of thinking that's creating a huge amount of suffering in their life that is also affecting others around them. And when he was sharing that with me, you know, this is part of the work I do with people as well. And I was so proud of him because he kind of stepped into that mode to help this person try to see a different way of a new perspective, try to see a new perspective. In my experience of all the work that I do with people, people need to be ready, and it doesn't mean that even though that you share things with them and it doesn't seem to, you know, make any difference, trust that people will go away and think about it at some point. Particularly when they're sensitive or they're going through stuff, they might have fleeting thoughts that will come up in them, and that is part of their soul linking to that really lovely positive thought to remind them, maybe, you know, maybe there is some truth in this, you know, and maybe there is a way that you could look at it that isn't so creating such suffering for yourself, that then could get you into a new place of being you if you transcended that, and then, you know, if you could move forward in your life. Now, getting back to the angels, they're always there to remind us to, with their simple messages that kind of hit the point, that can be related to everybody, that, you know, they are there to help us with that. And there are many angels out there that have specific tasks that can help change our mindset and also help shift our energy frequency. Now, I have tended to hand my problems over to the angels at times when I've, you know, come to that deep hole of something where I feel like, you know, I can't sort this out, you know, I can't get my head to think the right way, and I'm kind of caught in that mode. I will call in the energy, and particularly I will call in maybe Archangel Raphael, who is a very healing angel, is the doctor of the Archangel realm, and he brings in a beautiful green light that actually brings balance back to our system. So if you think about that as an energetic balance, and I use him when I practice work with people in the alchemy sessions in a number of ways, whether it's hands-on healings like mentoring with people, bringing insight into people, that he brings balance and that energy. And in that energy of balance, there's a beautiful green, nurturing light that then allows space for new revelations to come through. And people then start to process a slightly different way in their minds, where they kind of see the light of things in a, in a different way. So I want to share that with you in regards to the support that the angels are here to help us. And as sensitive as all of us are, and as sensitive that the outside world can be so harsh towards us, there is a way that we can think better about that, so that that doesn't affect us and, like I say, incapacitate us to do what we're here to do, which is to be of service to the world, to help others, to be happy, to be joyous, to be abundant in our own life. Because when we're like that, it all flows out lovely, and people just, are attracted to our light. And will ask us, well, what have you been doing to yourself? And it's really just tapping into the energy of just coming into that balance of things, and coming to see your thoughts as not being your friends all the time, not believing all the thoughts that you think. And particularly when you're in that reactive mode, because they're the most important thoughts we need to be dealing with, not the thoughts that are saying everything's sweet, when we're in that high zone and everything's flowing. Those thoughts are fine. We don't need to interfere with those, because they're in alignment with the energy of the soul. But it's in the other thoughts where we're in the alignment with the energy of, let's say, the ego self, that are bringing us down, that are holding us back, that are creating suffering more than necessary. And suffering comes through in many, many different ways: emotional suffering, pain, physical pain, suffering, physical ailments, mental suffering, depression, or even days when you lose your mojo, you just can't get your act together. All sorts of other mental issues that are stopping us from seeing our life in a better way. The perceptions, it's almost like the blinkers come on and we can't own it. We can't see the way we want to go. We can only see the way we're in, which basically doesn't make us happy. So Raphael brings this beautiful energy, and I work with him with the our angel alchemy sessions. Also, Jophiel is another one. She beautifies our minds, so she can help shift some of those thoughts into another layer. We can flip them over, and question our thoughts, So if we're having a negative thought about somebody, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know, whatever it is that's going on. Now, that's just an example. You can question that thought and say, is that really, really true? Is it true? And if it is a no, and you've really got to question yourself on that, what would it be like for yourself if you could just let that thought go? How would you feel without that thought that's so negative, that's so bringing you down, that's so putting out bad energy out into the world for yourself and everybody around you? If you could just let that thought go, how would you feel? And what thought could you think instead that could help you? Now, that's just one stage of some of the things that I do with people. So, look, I just wanted to share this today. The angels kind of woke me up and said, right, now it's time to do a video. So here I am doing another one. And, if you are struggling with anything, I'm here to help people. I'm here to help people step in their power. The angelic realm is part of my blessing in life, to be able to connect to that divine energy of truth, of straightforward advice, of guidance that can kickstart us into a new way of being and a new way of living our life. And it's always only one step at a time, because it's better to do one thing at a time so that you don't get overwhelmed and things like that. And that's one of the things that they've really guided and taught me to do for me. So call upon your angels if you need some help. If you're really struggling, you know, I'm here. And it's just, you've got to value who you are. And I'd say to people, and this is important, and I'm just going to throw this in. You have one chance in this life to live it in the way that is going to make you happy, joyous, and a way of being abundant and, you know, life looking after you because it really wants to. If you have been stuck in something for a while, what is it costing you really to be like that? You know, so I just say, you know, to people, reach out to somebody that maybe can just give you something, can give you the tools, can give you a new insights on how to look at things. Reach out. I've done that myself. I've hit rock bottom, and I've needed somebody to come in and shift me out of it. And really, they're just like acting like a mirror to me so that I can really see me and what I'm doing, for me to then to have these self-realizations. And it might just be a one-off thing, or it might just be an interaction for a number of weeks if the issue is deep and I need to work through a number of things that are linked to that. So I'm here to help people with that as well. So I have a multitude of tools. So, you know, you're on my page. I'm so blessed that you're here following me. I work a little bit different. I'm not just the average psychic person offering readings. I'm here to help change lives, and I'm here to work on behalf of the angels to do that. So there's going to be more coming. I've got lots of ideas that I want to bring to the page, and free things that I want to do to for you to connect to me, and maybe in a group way and stuff like that, and, you know, online stuff that we can do together. But there's also me here on my own, working with people one-on-one in various of different ways. So reach out to me if your issue is massive and it's been driving you mad and you're just stuck. Reach out to me and just tell me about it. Just message me, tell me about it, and I'll see if I can help, if I'm the right person. Or even if your thing is small but it's dragging you down, there might be just something I could just say to you there and then to just shift you out of it. Anyway, lovelies, have a wonderful day wherever you are. It might be a night time. And I'm sending you lots of love and angel blessings. And just remember, your angels are with you. With you. You've been given them to help you. They will guide you to things. They will guide you to to lead you to a better way of living. That brings you joy, that brings you love, that brings you the abundance, that brings you the purpose. And connecting to them is a way of opening the door for them to bring their guidance through. And I wouldn't be here doing what I do today in a variety of different ways, where they've basically asked me to tap into all my resources, which I had, and I now believe were given to me to help others, which ultimately always helps me as well, because when I see someone lift up and change their life and feel better about who they are, I feel like my work is done, and it makes me happy too. So, you know, there's that beautiful energy of just bringing that support to somebody. So signing off now, and I'll speak to you again another day. Angel blessings. Bye-bye.